Today we'll be studying about requirement engineering task. Now, it is an important element of the requirement engineering process, which means it lists out what are the various steps or measures have to be taken while the requirements are listed out to meet the user needs. It has got 7 stages. The first stage is called the inception stage. Then is the requirement elicitation stage. Then it is elaboration, negotiation, specification, validation, and requirement management. So in inception stage, basically the customer and the developer are supposed to have a discussion. Now in this discussion, they are going to validate, or they are going to just discuss about the scope of the project and the limitations of the project, or in short, they are defining the boundaries of the project. So the problem statement is basically defined or discussed by the user with his teammates or with the developer himself. So inception is the beginning of the requirement engineering analysis, in which it will be the need analysis of the problem statement generation, and after that the statement can be discussed with the developer. Next phase is the elicitation phase. In elicitation phase, basically the objectives of the problem are defined. That means listing out of the actual functional requirements is done in the elicitation phase. Elaboration. Whatever objectives are decided in the previous phase are elaborated in the elaboration phase. Negotiation. Whenever there is a project which is to be made, there will be differences in technology, in the time, in planning, in various aspects between the user and the developer. Basically, the negotiation takes place on several factors like what will be the quality of the product, how much time is going to be consumed for the making of the product, what will be the cost of the product, and so on and so forth. After they negotiate, it should be a win-win game. No one should be lost. So there has to be a negotiation between the customer and the developer. Specification. Specification is nothing but it's a written document which may consist of various things like mathematical model, diagrams, which will make it clear for the user or the developer to understand what has to be drawn, what has to be made. Validation. Once a specification is ready, validation is done to remove the errors. Requirement management phase. All the things which are listed in the previous phase is validated, it is made mandate, and it is being used or traced using the requirement traceability matrix. That means it is necessary to ensure that whatever requirement has been listed out or noted should be carried forward, and executed in a proper way. Now, going into details, inception means beginning. The customer and developer meet and they discuss the overall scope and nature of the problem statement to have a clear idea about the system, and as a result of that, they develop a better understanding of what can be achieved. This is essential to implement a system with better efficiency. Elicitation. It helps the customer to define the actual requirement of the system, to know the objectives of the system or the project which has to be developed is a critical job. This phase will help people to determine the goal of the system and have a clear idea of what the system will be achieving. Elaboration. The information obtained from the customer during inception and elicitation is expanded and refined during the elaboration phase. This requirement engineering activity focuses on developing a refined technical model of software functions, features, and constraints. Negotiation. This phase will involve the negotiation between what the user actually expects from the system and the developer and what is actually feasible to be built. Often it is seen that user always expect a lot of things from the system for a lesser cost. But based upon the other aspects and feasibility, the customer and developer can negotiate a few aspects and then proceed towards the implementation of the system. Specification. It can be a written document, it can be a set of graphical models, a formal mathematical model, collection of user scenarios, a prototype, a combination of these, or this is a set of all the things which will be required by the requirement engineers. Validation. It examines the specification in order to ensure that all the requirements have been stated unambiguously, so that none of the requirements are left uncovered. It also ensures that inconsistencies, omissions, and errors have been detected and corrected, so that the work products conform to the standards established for the process, the project, and the product. So validation is essential to remove any inconsistency in the system. Thank you.